Sports time now, and we head over to the sports studio and say good evening to Anne-Marie Burke. Anne-Marie, what do you have for us?
Well, good evening to you, Shane. The former West Indies captain Darren Sammy has become the first active cricketer to join a growing number of sports personalities worldwide in publicly raising their voice against the upsurge of racism. This follows the custodial killing of George Floyd at the hands of a now former policeman in Minneapolis in the United States. Sammy, in a series of tweets yesterday, urged both the ICC and National Cricket Boards to stand up against the injustice of racism against people of color. Sammy said he was frustrated that black people continued to suffer on a daily basis and cricket needed to voice its protest. He asked the International Cricket Council and other boards if they're not seeing what's happening to people like him and queried if they are not going to speak up on the social injustice against black people. The ICC in response said that it has always condemned racism and had zero tolerance towards it. As part of the code of conduct, the players not only get punished but also have to go through an education program to promote a better understanding and awareness of issues directly relevant to the offense that they have committed. The ICC also stated that no discriminatory behavior of any kind will be tolerated by anyone, including staff, media and fans. Now, Floyd, a black man, died on May 25th after a white police officer had held him down with his knee on his neck for over 8 minutes while he was handcuffed. The incident, captured on video, has sparked widespread angry protests across the USA. While the West Indies players get specific COVID-19 insurance on the planned tour of England, well, that's one of the sticking points in the current negotiations as Cricket West Indies and England and Wales Cricket Board look to short plans for next month's 3-test tour. The series will begin on July 8th in Southampton, followed by 2 tests at Old Trafford on July 16th and July 24th. The 3 matches will be played behind closed doors at biosecure venues, which both have hotels on site. West Indies arrive on June 9th and will be based at Old Trafford for initial quarantine and training. President of the Barbados Cricket Association, Conde Riley, tells CBC Sports that hopefully the matter of insurance will be dealt with at a directors' meeting tomorrow, as all safety protocols will be discussed.
My understanding from a friend of mine is that that gives you an advantage if you come down with the virus. You have health insurance, but if it is not COVID specific, then you may have to go into a waiting line, put it that way, and I wanted to be sure about that. I was assured that they will let us know on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, when we convene to finalize this whole tour. As I said also that a number of Barbadians are in the team, and the 13 of them haven't been asked to train over 30. And based on the makeup of the team, the last test match that we played at Kensington Oval, that it can be assumed that a lot of Barbarians might be there. So I wanted just to make sure that that insurance was in place, because I had gotten that information from a doctor whose specialty is respiratory illness, and he told me that to ensure that that is in place. So to make sure that they can get care immediately.
Riley also says he wants to ensure that the players are well aware of their requirements upon re-entry to the Caribbean.
Yes, and I asked them to make sure that all the players are aware that, especially in the case of Barbados, because I know about Barbados' position, that they will have to be in quarantine for 14 days and they will not be going straight back home, so that there will be no surprises on their return. So that also, I'm hoping to get a yes, that has been discussed with the players, and so on.
Professional cricketers across the region have not been spared from the financial impact caused by COVID-19. The recent temporary measures taken by Cricket West Indies to cut salaries across the board is expected to be in place for not more than 3 to 6 months.
The recent 50% pay cut by Cricket West Indies for territorial boards, territorial board franchises and WIPA, as well as a 50% cut in all retainers and allowances for directors and executive management, is steep. You can do the math. For example, the regional players are contracted under 2 categories. One comprises a set of 90 players that are on monthly retainers with the 6 franchises. The players are split across 4 categories: A, B, C, and development. Players in category A get a monthly remuneration of $2,666. Those in category B get $2,000. Those in C earn $1,500, and those in development get $1,000. The reality is that CWI is bordering on insolvency, and more stringent measures are expected amid the cash flow issues.
How we deal with our commercial activities now would be critical. You know, we have to ensure that we continue to generate despite whatever challenges in the industry. And we talk about the entire corporate community, because obviously our main sponsor, for example, is Sanders. Sanders has been closed for a couple of months now. You know, there are others who have always shown interest in supporting West Indies cricket financially, and they now will have to be thinking of their own survival. So it will be quite interesting. Our commercial arm has to be creative, you know, in ensuring that we have a constant flow of income that will help Cricket West Indies to continue to survive.
CEO of Cricket West Indies, Johnny Grave, also gave us a clear indication as to the severity of the situation when he announced changes to the player retainer contracts going forward. The 2019 to 2020 CWA contract period ends June 30th.
We're not going to issue 12-month contracts. We're going to issue 6-month contracts for the players, for all the players in the system. So the 90 franchise players, the 15 international women's players, and the 20 or so international men's players will all be issued new contracts within the next week.
So what is the safety net for some regional professional players who've been forced to take a 50% cut at this time? The 2020 Caribbean Premier League could be a savior, at least in the interim, with more Caribbean players included as replacements for the international athletes who might not be able to make the trip due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The CPL, set from August to September, is the CWI's biggest cash-raking tournament. Last year alone, it made the board richer by an estimated $25 million. Beyond the CPL, the CWI Financial Strategy Advisory Committee will have its work cut out to find a new governance structure that works for all involved. Damien Best, CBC Sports.
Now, regional cricketers aren't rid just yet of one of the Windies' adversaries. England fast bowler Liam Plunkett says he's open to playing for the United States. The 35-year-old, whose wife is American, has not played for England since winning the World Cup last summer, and he was not one of the 55 players asked to return to training last week. The USA earned one international status at the beginning of 2019 and have already called upon former West Indies batsman Xavier Marshall. Plunkett, who says he is likely to settle in the USA, would have to serve a 3-year residency period in order to be eligible to play.